Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time, I am discussing the sobering realization that I've come to realize lately that Star Wars The Last Jedi is this generation's Alien 3. And that is one hell of a realization, and something that I never really thought I would ever see again. I honestly never thought I would see a franchise that would have an installment in it that was as disrespectful to the previous films that came before it and to the characters that made it popular and made it worth watching in the first place. I never felt that I never in a million years thought I'd ever encounter something like that again. I thought that was going to be like a one-off thing because people would learn from it and realize that, oh, we shouldn't be pulling an Alien 3 because what we're going to do is effectively commit franchise suicide, and we're going to set the franchise not only two steps backwards, but light years backwards, because we're going to have to end up trying to make up for that mistake with each and every installment, and we'll never be able to do that because of the choices that have been made. And I felt like, okay, I know Alien 3 has its fans, but a lot of people realize that its approach really wasn't the best way to end the franchise, but there are people who feel differently. So there's that whole back and forth thing. But the fact is, Alien as a franchise has never recovered after Alien 3. It has never reached the same heights of Aliens, and I don't think it ever will. And Covenant and Prometheus aren't doing the franchise any favors either. So I was like, alright, hopefully that doesn't happen again. I don't want to ever experience that again. And then I see The Last Jedi, and I feel the exact same way after that film was over as I did when I watched Alien 3. I just felt like I just saw a franchise die before my very eyes. And for a lot of people, that just creates a lot of uneasy feelings and a lot of just aggravation. And that's what happens when you're grieving. It's the grief process. You're like, why? Why did they do this? Why did they kill Ripley? Why did they kill Hicks off screen in a stupid way? Why is Newt dead? Why did that have to happen? Why did they kill Luke Skywalker in such a stupid way? Why did he have to die? Why did that have to happen? It's the same sort of thing. And it's the same lack of respect for the characters that made those franchises so popular and beloved to begin with. All for the sake of being shocking and taking risks. I don't really see a script being shocking or taking risks or being ballsy by itself as being something that's brilliant or an example of good writing, let alone brilliant writing. Jumping off a bridge is ballsy, but doesn't mean it's a good idea. And the whole sort of defense that I've seen for The Last Jedi is a mirror image to the defenses I see for Alien 3. It's the same, oh, well, you just don't understand it. Oh, well, the director's vision was different. The director wanted you to see the past die. Let the past die. It was shocking. It was ballsy. It was innovative. It broke new ground. I heard the same things with Alien 3, and I still hear the same things about Alien 3 that I'm hearing in regards to The Last Jedi. I respectfully disagree with all of those defenses for those films because I don't agree with them whatsoever, and I don't get it. And I never will understand why people still defend Alien 3 and its decisions to this day, and I won't get why people defend The Last Jedi and the decisions it made either. But it's not just that. The films themselves are similar, and how they just don't give a fuck. They're just so disrespectful and rude to the films that came before them and to the characters. Alien 3 turns Ripley to a shell of herself and kills her off at the end. Same thing happens with The Last Jedi. Turns Luke Skywalker to a shell of himself and kills him off at the end. The only thing that I guess you could say Alien 3 did worse than in The Last Jedi is having Hicks and Newt die in the opening credits. Both films also have very oppressive, bleak, dark tones to them, except Alien 3 doesn't really have as much forced humor as The Last Jedi, which I think that's a good thing. And honestly, if I had to pick between the two, as much as I hate Alien 3, I'd rather watch Alien 3. I think Alien 3 is a better film than The Last Jedi, not only from a directorial standpoint, but even from the performances by the acting and the production design and other elements, and definitely the score. Elliot Goldenthal's score is a legitimately good thing about Alien 3. I can't say the same for uh, John Williams' score for The Last Jedi. The most memorable things about it were retreads and bits of music that I heard in the previous films of the franchise. Nothing new was really that fresh or worth listening to for me. But yeah, I've really come to that realization that The Last Jedi is this generation's Alien 3. It makes the same mistakes and it makes the same ballsy choices that Alien 3 did. And ultimately, I personally feel that Star Wars as a franchise, because of the decisions that Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy decided to make, are going to doom this franchise. Just like it did for Alien. I don't see this getting any better. In fact, I see J.J. Abrams just trying to do whatever he can to try to salvage what's left of this franchise after the devastation that has been left behind by Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy with The Last Jedi. Just like the other people who were behind Alien Resurrection had to try to salvage what was left behind after Alien 3. And they came out with a movie that was just as bad as Alien 3, but still had Ripley, but still didn't. It was one of those things where they were backed into a corner, and they continued to be backed in a corner because of the choices that they made. And I feel that is the same path that Star Wars is going to follow, and that's why it's dead to me. Okay, I'm not gonna go through what I did with the Alien franchise again. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna go there. And I know there's people who love The Last Jedi and they think it's a great film, and I have no issue with that. I think that's a wonderful thing because that means that we still live in an interesting place because there are multiple different people with multiple different opinions, and I would never have an issue with that. But I do take issue with people using The Last Jedi as a soundboard to try to say that people who don't like it are wrong, they don't understand, they just don't get it, and in the process making themselves look like a bunch of selfish assholes. But hey, that's their choice. But I'm just wondering why The Last Jedi is the film that so many of these Star Wars fans, are choosing as the sword that they are going to fall onto. Like, I'm going to fall onto this sword. I don't get it. Like, the same thing goes for Alien 3. I've seen people say Alien 3 is the best film in the franchise. I've seen people say it was the perfect ending to the franchise. I don't get it. I think that's bullshit. But that's just how I personally feel. I mean, if you feel that was a great way to end the franchise, that's fine. But I still think it's bullshit. Just like I still think it's bullshit that The Last Jedi decided to kill off Luke Skywalker in the most dumbass way imaginable, that didn't show any respect for the character whatsoever and everything that he fought for. And not only just that, I mean all the other original trilogy characters and the original trilogy itself, because The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi pretty much undo and unravel everything that came before it, just so they can get back to square one. And the whole breaking new ground thing, Alien 3 didn't really break new ground either. Alien 3, all it did was try to recapture what Alien had. It was like, oh, we want to make it a cat and mouse thriller like Alien. And then you made a movie that was a subpar version of Alien and was essentially a stalk and slash movie with a xenomorph that was boring as hell and disrespectful and a slap in the face. And then with Last Jedi, it's the same thing. You made a boring sci-fi movie where it's just one long chase that doesn't really go anywhere, has one of the most anticlimactic endings I've ever seen in my life. It's disrespectful and a slap in the face. It's the same thing. They just made these choices that and just like Alien 3, where Alien 3 is just Alien and Ripley's dead and everything's just basically kind of just I guess you could say it's over. I could give Alien 3 credit for that. At least it kind of ended things. But with The Last Jedi, it's like things are just back to square one. They're just back to where they were at the start of the film. So what new ground was broken with The Last Jedi? Just like what new ground was broken with Alien 3? The ground that was broken for both films was the ground that is going to be used to bury those franchises. This really does suck. I mean, I really did not want to feel this way again. And that explains why The Last Jedi for me is the last straw and why it was so upsetting to me, because it reminded me of Alien 3. It made the same choices, it made the same decisions, and it fucked it up. It royally fucked things over. It fucked up the franchise, and I don't think Star Wars will recover from this. And just like Alien has not recovered from this. Even if they made the Neil Blomkamp Alien 5 that tries to ignore Alien 3, Alien 3 still exists. The fact that they have to make a movie trying to retcon Alien 3 proves that Alien 3 was a movie that didn't make the right choices. It was a film that will go down in infamy as the film that effectively ended the franchise, whether you like it or not, because they would have to ignore it in order to go forward, and or just try to do new stories altogether, and that might be okay too. With Star Wars, I just feel the same decision-making process was used here, and that doesn't give me any faith for the franchise going forward, because I've seen what happens, and it isn't pretty. Anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you guys later. See ya.